Hi guys, and welcome back to Delicado. My name's Ben and I'm one of the proprietors here. Today we're looking at a lovely little red from Priorat. Now where is Priorat? Priorat is sort of what I think of the Barossa but in Spain. So if you're visiting Barcelona and you're hiring a car, 2.5 hours drive, beautiful, right up in the I don't know what you call it, the Gratlops, but mountainous country, narrow winding roads, but just beautiful scenery. And that's home of one of Spain's most famous producers. His name's Alvaro Palacios, or Palacios. In this area, the wines share a really similar soil profile to the Douro Valley in Portugal. What does that mean? Well, let me just show you. This is the soils here, or some of the rocks from the area. It's basically consisting of a sort of a blue slate. You can see it's quite sheer. And a sort of soil that they call licorella. Now that sort of soil is really difficult for a vine to grow in. And what you find in this area is that the vines, one, very old, and two, they really struggle. So the grapes that they produce are really full of flavour. I think about it and compare it to the Barossa, because the Barossa in Australia is really home to some really old vines, Shiraz vines and Grenache vines, and you find a similar thing in Priorat, or Priorato they call it. So what are the wines like in this area? Well, typically they're red. This is the particular cuvee that we're looking at today. It's called Camins del Priorat, and basically it's the entry-level wine for Alvaro Palacios. The grapes are blended to make this dry red wine, and you'll find in Priorat that most of the wines are red, and pretty much all of them are blends. They're usually based on Grenache, or what the locals called Samso. Samso we know as Carignan, which is a grape that you find a lot of in southern France and the Languedoc and sort of Provence area of France, and usually it's in blends there too, making really hearty styles of red. So have a look at this in the glass. It's quite deep coloured. Remembering that this is the entry-level wine, it's mainly Carignan or Samso. A large chunk of Grenache goes into this wine, but then it has some other things that we know quite well, like Cabernet and Syrah or Shiraz. Rich, earthy, very textural on the palate, deep flavours of dark fruits, plums, blackberries. I just think in my head black fruits. So steering away from the bright red strawberries and raspberries that you usually find with Grenache. It's sort of almost lost in this blend. There is an amalgam of fruits in there, but they tend towards darker fruits. Texturally as well, there's sort of an astringency, a dryness on the palate, and it's quite thick and rich. Typically in this area that have this wine with cheese, typically a goat's cheese called Grenache. So a semi-hard goat cheese, this would be the perfect match. But if you're going to have it with a meal, why be having a richer meal, like, you know, a beef dish or a lamb dish? Something quite hearty and quite earthy, but also something very simple. That way you can enjoy the wine all the more. Salut.